Hi, welcome back to Talking with Famous People. I'm host Eric. I am the Indian guide who led Lewis and Clark all the way to Oregon. It was me. Back then I was known as Sacagawea, but I've changed my name since then. I went from Sacagawea, then I was Susan B. Anthony, then I was Rosa Parks, now I'm Eric Strauss.
Nice to meet you.
Hmm.
Did you go through the Bardo state?
The what state?
Did you transfer through the Bardo state?
The Bardo state? I don't know who the Bardo is. Oh, is that an artist?
That's Buddha.
Oh, that's Buddha.
It's a hypothetical state where you pass through death and you are faced with monsters and beings that attempt to frighten you, and you have to go through the seven bardos, and then once you reach a certain level, you can either ascend or you are reincarnated, in which you enter a realm where you see your parents making love and you choose them.
Like that one. That's extra steamy. I'm going with them. Um,
I think this is a
I
cool
like the
picture.
Bardo State idea. I like that a lot. I I
Yeah.
I don't believe I'm currently engaged in any of the Bardo stages, although I could be, having not really studied what each of those Bardo stages are. Seven, you say?
I believe so, yeah. Maybe nine. I think
I
it's
like the
seven.
word Bardo.
The
It's
Bardo.
it's evocative. Anyway, I didn't know about that. That's cool. That's interesting. That's not my metaphysics, though. My metaphysics, I get to go back to post life Game Central and see how I scored, and then try again with a different life.
Not either.
Um, if it is like I think it is, then you get higher points for choosing a more difficult life. So I don't think I'm going to score particularly high in this life. I got a pretty easy setup. You know, born born in the United States, parents who were responsible and well off and stuff, and so probably I'm going to get a low score. How are you going to score, Courtney? How do you live your life such that when it's over, you feel as though you've made a very high score?
What?
How is it that you end up living your life such that at the end of it, you are confident and comfortable that you have scored high? You've gotten a high score in your life. What does that mean to you?
I don't know. I mean, a high score in your life?
Yeah, like, look, you have, let's say you have 60 years left. Those 60 years could go any number of possible ways. Some ways we'd all agree, I'm sure, including you, would agree would be a terrible way for it to go, like being a heroin addict living in the gutter. If you made that course of action as your choice, you'd probably regret choosing the uh, heroin addicted Skid Row resident. Would not be a choice that would you'd say I made wise choices. I ended up here. What what is 70-year-old Courtney accomplished or done, or how has she lived in such a way that she's very satisfied with her choices? That she's like, I don't regret shit. I did that perfect.
I suppose if I would choose the most self respect I would gain of my life, it would be something like gaining a PhD in a very difficult field and helping others understand it better.
That's an extremely INTP answer. They're known to enjoy teaching.
That's like the most value I see for the species because if you can help others come to a higher understanding, then and also yourself even that would be a challenge to do. I look highly upon people that have like conquered a certain set of knowledge.
You should
So
coach
I would
debate.
like to do that.
You should
Huh?
coach. You should coach debate. You'd like it a lot.
I thought about asking you if you would teach me how.
Of course, sure. Um, and it's pretty straightforward. You guys learn fairly fast. If you just want to sit in on a couple practices or something, you get the gist of it. It's as simple as you get the resolution, which in this case is for right now for public forum is it says the benefits of the Internet of Things outweigh harms of decreased personal privacy. So that's the resolution you're arguing about, and then the kids have to be ready to argue both sides. But mostly, debate is a card game. So you have cards like, which is an excerpt from an article. Some of that excerpt is highlighted. So let's say I wanted to argue that the Internet of Things doesn't have uniform benefits. It depends where it's being used and how it's being used. So it's hard. You can't really count benefits very clearly. If I'm trying to make that argument, I might say that RFID chips have a non-standardized intercommunicative mechanism. That in different places they each have different standards for how those things communicate with one another, and they apply them to different things and in different ways. And it's going to be contingent on that to determine whether or not they're actually beneficial or not. Well, I'll find an article that says they use non-standard communications. I'll tag it by implying other shit about it too, like these are non-standard communications, therefore we can't measure the benefits. I read the card and then I say a little bit of analysis about why that proves my side of the resolution. Then I go to contention 2, same thing, repeat. Contention 3, same thing, repeat. The best cases in debate are those that are where the various legs of the case support the other legs so that you can never get one of them alone. It's called the three-legged stool theory of case building that I've not heard anybody else talk about necessarily, and I can't really quite define it all the way, but I know it when a case achieves it. It's when you can pivot between one to the other two at all times, and you can always get out of one with the other two. So, anyway, the process of then coaching them is basically, if you have rank beginners, that's when it's hard. If you have a couple of experienced debaters on your squad who know what they're doing, then it's about managing the squad. You're a project manager for a bunch of different people. I always buy briefs so that they have no excuses. I buy foundation briefs. It's like $30 and it's like 80 pages of cards. They can always use those cards. I cut some cards. I suggest strategy. I lecture. When a new topic comes out, I say, okay, everybody take notes. I get up there and I write on the board and I yell, blah, 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 blah. And once the team's used to it, my middle schoolers in debate class are so much better students than college students or high school students or any other students I ever encounter.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's because it's real, and it lets you do real things. You say, look, we're going into battle. I'm going to tell you what you guys should run. You guys need to be writing this shit down, otherwise we're wasting our time. And soon enough they internalize it, and when you start talking, they start taking notes. And if you're smart enough, which you are, then it's just a matter of just being smarter than the other coaches in terms of strategy and being real, buying into it. I mean, everything great in life that's ever accomplished comes when people buy into it 100%. All in. This is my soul. I'm not afraid to reveal everything to you. I'm not afraid to reveal that when you lose, it tears me apart. I'm not afraid to reveal that it matters immensely to me whether or not you win this tournament. That my hopes are riding on your back. The students respond really well to that. Because I don't encounter it anywhere else in school. Where's the right direction? Where it's
teach mathematics.
Say again?
Because I always thought it'd be kind of cool to teach mathematics. Because you can come up with all different kinds of ways to help people understand, and it tends to be a subject that a lot of people struggle with. And it's also really kind of fun to do.
For you, but I mean, look, how many of the people who struggle with mathematics want to be there and learn it?
Yeah, that would be like an issue you'd probably encounter.
Motivation is the most important factor. I think motivation is the most important factor in all teaching.
Motivation?
For sure.
But you could find ways to make it motivating.
But see, that's
You
the
could
thing.
find like
I,
interesting problems to do that apply it to something that they could relate to emotionally. And then they kind of like get pulled in that way or something.
well,
Or psychology or philosophy.
I mean, look, there's lots of interesting classes, but my point is, if you're in the existing system, some of that class, and you're a public school teacher or a day school teacher, some of that class is going to be there unwillingly. You're going to be trying to drag them along. I want pull. I don't want to be doing the dragging behind me. And that's what
Yeah.
coaching allows. I say to the students, first of all, first thing I always say to them is, I will not force anybody to do anything they don't want to do. I don't assign any homework. I don't assign any assignments. And I want you guys to understand that my success is predicated on your success. My job is to facilitate what you need to win. Second lesson is, I want you to do as little work as possible. Every piece of work I want you to do, I want you to only do work that is helping you win, that's actually purposeful, with the minimum amount of work with the maximum amount of impact. If you can win a tournament without doing shit, that's what I want you to do. You know, and they've never encountered this before, where the teacher is telling them, I only want you to do what matters. Why haven't they
Yeah.
ever encountered this before? It's insane, right? The other teachers, that's not a question that's relevant in their class. Does this actually matter? Well, for what? They can't even say for what, because they're asking students to do practice work, to practice a skill that the students may or may not actually use to do anything real ever. For no money,
Yeah, that's true.
for no
Yeah.
money, and they can't stop. They are forced to go there, even
I
if they're
actually had a
experiencing abuse.
Catholic teacher that I was really kind of admired. But I'm sure that probably not everybody admires her the same way.
The thing about coaching debate is they're motivated by the situation, not by me. But they're motivated by me too. They have to believe in me to be motivated. They have to believe I can get them where they need to be, where they want to be. They all want to win. None of them want to lose. None of them want to get embarrassed. They all want to
But
feel
what
like,
do they do? They go up on a stage and they battle with another person on a team?
uh,
What do
yeah,
they
it
actually
it looks like,
do?
here's another Courtney for you, Courtney.
Today's resolution resolved when the United States private ownership became against occupant. Observation 1. Just laws used to threaten force against citizens when those citizens violate the rights.
Uh,
Here, check this out in the chat. There's a link. It's another Courtney. It's one of my 8th graders from last year. Demoing what it looks like.
oh, my ad blocker's off.
United States private ownership became against occupant. Observation 1. Just laws used to threaten force against citizens when those citizens violate the rights. Observation 2. 8 times resolution of fundamental body to regardless of respect for law. My value is justice. My value is being respect for populace. So, whichever side that supports copyright should win rounds. This is necessarily so because framework one copyright on how we know what the word fair means. Fair discussion to these on copyrights. Fair discussion to these on copyrights. Intelligence what these copyrights are more fundamental than the concept upon which the right consent, because that's the only reason there for copyright is the possibility of conflict. And this right also because we live in a world of space for resources. Like human acts which mean to apply such a to achieve certain chosen ends. Therefore, to copyright is the only system of justice. Intelligence is important way. As an example, I feel it is right to use people from body. If I do not from the discretion only to only act, which is my act or an act, to make them weak, the act for me to take back is non-aggressive. It's not determined whether it is parents or across the speech as that the direction unless the first identifies easy over. Intention 1. First means road music representing one class of
It's a long speech.
Okay.
Okay, so the other one, it gives you an idea of what it looks like when you have a two-person debate. There's two kinds of debate. Courtney was demonstrating LD, which is one-on-one. The other kind of debates are public forum and policy. They're both two-on-two. So the second link is my public forum team scrimmaging the probable cause topic, the last topic. This is from a couple months ago.
Hi, I'm Derek here. Coach, a little electricity. Let's start. Justin, Tippett, listen. I want everybody to blow as well as you possibly can. Grace, I want you to. Have you talked to him over there? What's your name again?
You may recognize these old.
Your name?
Justin.
No. What's? Yeah. All right, cool. Clear. So.
Start. Go.
Make sure you flow, and Grace, keep an eye, make sure you know you answer any questions about how to flow and stuff. Other than people as well. If you write down what happens in the round, you're guaranteed to lose because you don't know what to say. Unless you have a 100% world's greatest memory in history.
And prevents completely ridiculous student searches that violate them.
I don't know. My memory
This is
doesn't
kinda
look
cool.
like Justin. Yes, I am. I'm recording you for posterity's sake, so that you will also get to. All right, let's start. Go.
I'll start. Time. Alright, start time now. My name is Zane, this is my partner Brandon, we are going to frame this resolution. So, for our framework for this round is whichever side is best for the country. Observation 1. Schools must strike a balance between the student's right to privacy and the need to maintain school safety, which are the two biggest impacts in this round. Contention 1. Probable cause upholds the bodily integrity right of a human and prevents completely ridiculous student searches that violate that right. Subpoint A. Hill 2015. The proposition that children have the rights against unwanted bodily intrusions imposed upon them by the state is relatively uncontroversial. The Supreme Court acknowledged minors' liberty, interest, and personal security. Dealt with allegations that corporal punishments administered by school officials pursued by the Florida